tab, you'll see the Indigo Freedom icon pop up. This could come up as locked initially, so what you'll have to do is click the padlock and type in the default Rainbird password of 4321, and this should unlock it. Going into the Freedom controls, to turn on the first screen, to turn on the system, put #1. To inform it that it is the 12th screen you want to turn on, have another # and hit 12. Followed by a 1 for your program number, another #, and now your minutes, and a double # to finish it. You'll see up here where it reads my GPMs, my system is turned on. So we'll quickly go into our monitor log. We'll see that 12 is running, 2 heads right now, and the 3 heads are queued to run as scheduled. And click on this alarm bell. And in here we can make smart weather alarms. So in the first one, we have selected high wind 1 for greater than 20 miles an hour. If the condition is on, it will interrupt the system, and to whom we have selected our 16th green. Currently we have our 16th green running, so we can show the simulation. So when we click the alert button here to simulate the condition, we'll open this drop down and select high wind 1 to match our first condition. As you can see up here, our system has stopped. When we select the alarm again and select high wind 2, the system will reset. We'll go into our monitor logs quickly. Or slowly. And you can see that the 16th green is running. Here you can see we have GPM, the green light is on, our system is running. We'll go into the water saver system water budget icon, and where it says rain watch, we'll click these 3 little dots right beside that. You can see here that our rain shutdown threshold is 0.5 inches. Our rain can and pulses is 0.1 inch. So press OK. We'll go into the rain watch status icon, and we'll generate 5 pulses, which will give us our ½ inch, and we'll see what the system does. As you can see here in our alert center, rain shutdown threshold is met and our system is off.
To C, we have to pause the irrigation system when the rainfall intensity is above 3 inches per hour. So first we'll click on the 3 dots by the rain watch, and we'll see that we have the pause threshold at 3 inches and the watch window is 1 hour. From here we'll click OK, make sure that we have the system on, and then go into rain watch status. In here we'll generate a pulse to get to our 3 inches in 1 hour. After we have done that, you can see that our alarm message has come up as system paused. and everything will slowly shut down.
Today we're going to water by ET, but first I'm going to do a dry run of just our teas, just to show our default run time would be about 10 minutes, and then we'll compare to what the ET says. The reason why we would water by ET is it allows us to water just what has been evaporated over throughout the day, throughout the plants. ET will then replace the amount of moisture lost throughout the day. So we are going to start with our dry run for the teas. All our parameters are set up, and we will do a dry run. So what this is showing is just on our default runtime, the sprinkler system will turn on at 10 o'clock and it will end at 11:50 p.m. And we'll just show you on our chart, teas for throughout the golf course were on for 10 minutes apiece. Now we're going to simulate a ET system. So we're just going to click on the ET button and we will check our ET settings. So we come down to the rain watch status, and we're going to set it up as if our total rain counter. So we will actually restart this, close, and we will go into here. So our rain can catch per pulse, so just simulating a rain event, will be at 0.125 inches per pulse, which will give us 0.25 inches for our pulse. And we're going to just dump this rain counter, generate 2 pulses, so you can see 0.24, 0.25, pretty close to the same. So we will just exit this, go to our dry run, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, it took a little bit longer. I'll just come over here. So on the ET, we ran for an extra 55 minutes, and we'll see on the chart the reason why. So it actually took us an extra 5 minutes per head on the tees to replace the amount of moisture lost throughout the day. And that is how ET works. Now we're going to see how long it takes for each area to go through its program on ET based on a 0.25 of an inch irrigation. So first we will start with our greens. So just making sure everything is set down for ET, and we'll just run these sections one by one. So let's start with the greens. So we'll go to our dry run, our parameters are set, and we will start. Okay, so here it shows that the program shut down just before o'clock. So our full time for the greens is 1 hour and 40 minutes since it started at 10 o'clock. And we can also check how long the sprinklers were on for each head, and we'll go to the greens, and it shows that each head was on for 10 minutes. Next we will go to the tees. Alright, so we'll go to our dry run again. Parameters are all the same. And we can see that the sprinklers were on for a little bit longer than an hour and 40 minutes. Okay, so it shows that the time the tea sprinklers went off was at 12:45. So that gives us 2 hours and 45-minute run time for the teas. And we'll just see how long they were on for. So 15 minutes apiece. Fairways will be next. Alright, see where we ended up on our fairways. So our fairways ended at 12:35, so that is a run time of 2 hours and 35 minutes. And just 10 minutes shy of our tees. So we'll see how long these went on for. And our fairways were on for 8 minutes ahead. Next we'll do approaches. So the approaches were short and sweet, and I believe it was about 35 minutes. So 36 minutes for it to end. And we'll see how long these were on for. 17 minutes ahead for the approaches. Our perimeters will be next. Okay, so 11:45 is when they shut down, so that gives us a run time of 1 hour 45 minutes for our perimeters. Sorry, yes, no. So our perimeters were on for 8 minutes ahead. Yes, 1 hour 45 minutes. And lastly but not least, the rough. Alright, so the rough took a little bit longer. So at 1:08 they shut off, and that is a run time of 3 hours and 8 minutes. So we'll just see how long these heads were on for. And the rough were on for 17 minutes as well. So if we come up to the drop down here, we can select ET spreadsheet, and this will just give us a full breakdown, all areas, all the holes, and how long each head we're on for. So again, we'll go to the start. Greens 10 minutes, tees 15 minutes, fairways 8 minutes, approaches 17 minutes, perimeters 8 minutes, and rough 17. So this just goes to show by irrigating by ET, it will replace the amount of water loss throughout that day. So for our rough, we needed an extra 7 minutes on our heads compared to the default. Perimeters, we needed 2 minutes less time than our default. Approaches, 7 extra minutes. Our fairways were 2 minutes under our default setting. Our tees were 5 minutes above our default setting, and our greens were right on our default setting at 10 minutes. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.
Well, it's right there. To test the program, you can go make sure it's turned on and do a dry run. As you can see, 2 heads on each green round for 10 minutes. How to create a program that waters all of the back 9 fairways from green to tee. However, the 17th and 18th fairway are only to be watered every 3rd day. To start with, we'll enter into the program builder, create a program for the fairways 10 through 16, as well as a program for 17 and 18. 10 to 16 will have schedule for each of its own individual fairways, and then the program for 17 and 18 will include fairways 17 and 18. An example of how I set this up, I can show you the 10th fairway. Moving from the green to the tee, I've selected each station on the fairway. If we go back to our program and schedule detail, we can make sure that they run sequentially and the progression is forced, ensuring that it turns on the stations in order from green to tee. In the screen, we can also see that I have set the scheduling to ensure that the 17th and 18th fairway are only watered once every 3 days. You can go ahead and do a dry run, make sure it's all working. The 15th hole is a par 3 and doesn't have any fairway. 7, we are going to be watering greens, tees, and approaches, but only certain stations out of those areas. So if we go in here, we'll look at the programs in the front greens, and as you can see, we have turned off stations 2, 5, and 7. And then we'll go to the back greens, and you can see that we have turned off 14 and 18, and we continue to do the same for tees and approaches. So now we will run a dry run to show that these areas are off. So once this has been completed, we'll go into dry run log times. And as you can see, we have these greens off. They're showing 0 minutes. And same with the tees. If we scroll down, you can see that the approaches have been turned off too. Create a program, give it a name, select the holes you want, select the areas and times you want it to run for, time to start at, and then click one time only. This is going to ensure that the program only runs once. If I play it and progress it, you can see that everything was run for 3 minutes, as it should.
9, we were asked to determine how much sand would be required to fill all the bunkers on the entire course with 12 inches of sand throughout. To figure that out, we'll click on the map. We'll go down in the map navigation toolbar and we'll click map utilities on the bottom left. We'll select the bunker on the bottom left toolbar. Once we've selected the bunker, we can right click and hit select all, and that will give us our total square feet for all the bunkers on the course. Now to determine the entire depth in cubic feet for the amount of sand we needed, we just multiply that number by the depth of sand, which is 1 foot, so it ends up being 182,295 cubic feet of sand. Bonus question, we were required to find the capacity of the two most southeasterly ponds on the irrigation map. We were determined to find them. So how we will do that is we will go into the same toolbar as we did for the last question. Click on map utilities in the bottom, select pond, and instead of selecting all ponds with a right click, we will then click on select an area after we select the ponds, then select the individual pond we want. So we want the two most southeasterly ponds, so that will be these two. So I will click on this one. It'll give me the square footage. I will write it down. Then I will click on this one and then add the two together, which gives me a total of 254,215 square feet for total area. Next, I will take that number, multiply it by the 10 feet of constant depth, and then I will multiply that by 7.43, which is how many gallons are in a cubic foot, which gives me a total of 18,888,147.5 gallons for the two ponds. Question. We were asked the question, assuming that there is no refill of the ponds, how many days capacity do the ponds have if the golf course is watered every night for a default time of 15 minutes on every sprinkler? So ultimately we are trying to find how many days capacity we would have out of all of our ponds if we watered 15 minutes. That will involve us selecting all of our ponds, but first we want to find out how much water we will use if we watered 15 minutes a night. So we will exit the map, we will go to our program detail, select the water all program, make sure all the holes and all the heads are turned on. We will do a dry run, so we'll select a dry run, select our time, make sure it's alright, and we will play our dry run through, and it should give us a total amount of gallons we use per night at 15 minutes. As you can see, we were watering 150%, which is 15 minutes. So we'll go into our data log runtime, and it gives us our total flow of 419,547 gallons per night. So once we know that, we will write that down. Then we will go back into the map, select our toolbar, select map utilities, then select pond. And since we're doing all 4 ponds for our irrigation system, we can right click on pond and hit select all. And that will give us our total area in square feet for our ponds, which is 320,575 feet squared. So what we will do is we will multiply that by 10 feet, which is our depth, and then multiply that by our 7.43, which is how many gallons are in a cubic foot. And that gives us 23,818,722.5 gallons of water in all 4 of our ponds. Then we will divide that by 419,547 gallons, which is how many gallons we're watering per night. And that gives us a total of 56.78 days of watering before we will run out of water on our golf course. Thanks for watching Group 1's videos. I hope you enjoyed and learned some cool things about the Rainbird Cirrus system.